Can we talk for a minute about our Integrating Heart and Mind workshop?
Absolutely. I'm excited. It's coming up in the fall of 2024.
I'm so excited. We changed the format to make it more accessible to people with like work schedules and personal schedules. And so this time we're going to do it 3 hours on a Friday afternoon or evening, depending on where you're at, and 5 hours on Saturday for 2 different weeks in September.
Yeah, it's so great. Like if you're finding yourself stuck in like sticky bad patterns or having communication issues or something like that, or if you want to just like get closer and trust yourself or your partner more, this is the workshop for you.
Yeah, and individuals are welcome, couples are welcome. If you're interested in really thinking through how to serve yourself well inside of your relationships, then we've built a workshop that will support you in finding the ways that are just right for you.
To sign up, head over to our website at whydoesmypartner.com/events.
We hope you'll join us. Welcome to the Why Doesn't My Partner podcast.
I'm Jules.
I'm Vicky.
And I'm Rebecca. We're your hosts. We're also couples therapists and messy humans bumbling through our own relationships every day.
We met through our training and practice of relational life therapy. Between us, we have more than 40 years of experience holding hard relational questions with our clients. We're going to bring those questions here.
And together, we're going to take a stab at answering those questions. This podcast is not a substitute for therapy. If something you hear in this podcast stirs something deep within you about your relationship, reach out to a couples therapist in your area.
In this episode, we're discussing the following listener question.
Why does my husband load the dishwasher like that?
So why does my husband load the dishwasher like that?
I just want to say for the record that my husband and I do load the dishwasher differently.
So does my husband and I.
So do we.
Yep. When I heard this one, I was like, oh, yeah, that's true. We all probably have this one.
Oh, when I heard this one, I burst out laughing and thought, that's my marriage.
Well, is there actually a right way to load the dishwasher?
I would say no, but most people would disagree with me.
Yeah.
Clearly some people would say yes.
It's kind of like the age-old, how do you hang the toilet paper?
Yes.
There is a correct way to hang the toilet paper, by the way.
Of course there is.
Yes. So in answers of why, there's usually one of two reasons. Either they've really thought through it and believe that their way is the right way, or they were taught to do it that way by their parents or whoever else, and they've never loaded it any different than that. That's the simple why. Why does my partner load the dishwasher? Why does the toilet paper go over the roll?
Oh, yeah.
Because that's the way it was forever. And I can't relearn it.
Well, you could.
Don't make me.
Don't make me.
Right? It takes a lot of effort.
My mother-in-law thinks the dishwasher is just a drying rack.
That's how my husband uses a dishwasher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he loves hand washing dishes.
Yeah.
My hubby's a hand wash dish guy.
Yeah. And my mother-in-law thinks it's a drying rack. And my mother thinks that you can put many dirty dishes on top of each other and somehow they'll all get washed.
And see, this is where we get into, is there a right way? Forks up, forks down.
I think if stuff comes out clean, it's good.
Right?
Don't put away dirty dishes.
Yes.
So this gets us into something that happens a ton now, which is that we think we know better. It's about being right.
It's always about being right.
So when I think about what's one of the most common reasons a couple would get into a fight, it's because they both think they're right and they have a different answer.
So they both can't be right.
Well, or they both can be, but it's subjective.
Oh, well, yeah, there's that. The subjective piece. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the piece about, like, is there room for both of them to be right? Like, when I'm loading the dishwasher, can I do it my way? When you're loading it, can you do it your way?
Right. And here's a piece that's funny about that is, and I think Terry says this so well. So one of my mentors, Terry Real, our mentor, Terry Real, says the relational answer, not the objective answer. Notice this, the relational answer to who's right is who cares. Because the relational answer is, I care about you feeling good in this relationship more than I care about the right way to load a dishwasher.
It is hard to get there.
It's exceptionally hard to get there if what we're seeking is validation for being right.
Yeah.
I like the way you're putting that, because I think that's so much what people are going for when they get into an argument like this, is they would get into a space of wanting you to do it my way because I'm right, not do it my way because I asked you to.
Right.
Right.
And it's almost like an argument over what's more true.
Right.
As opposed to an argument over, or not even an argument, but a direct request. Like, it would really mean a lot to me if you could put the forks this way and the cups that way.
Right. And I think that probably is a new term, direct request.
Yeah.
So for a lot of our people won't know what that means. So
let's break it down.
It starts with speaking from the I. So it's either I would like this, or could you do this as a favor to me?
And I think it's about shifting from complaining.
Yes.
Right? Like, so you're energetically moving things because you're taking the complaint out. And instead of complaining, I don't like it when you blah, 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 it's I would like it if you.
Yes. So that's the direct request comes when you speak it from the beginning rather than complaining from the back on the back end. You say it outright.
Yeah.
And that's what you're saying, Rebecca. The complaint is when it's already happened and you did it quote unquote wrong. The request is before it's happened. Could you do it this way?
Right. The other piece about direct request that is super important is that a request is not a demand. So demands are saved for really big stuff, and dishwashers are probably not in the big stuff category. And so a demand would be like, I want a monogamous marriage, or I want an open marriage.
Or I want children, or I don't want
children. Right, exactly. I want to live in Canada, or I want to live in Texas. So those would be more demand level things. Sometimes even big stuff is requests and it's negotiable, but sometimes not. But a direct request, it's okay to hear a no. So I could say, would it be possible for us to load the forks this direction? And for my partner to say, actually, no, I'm not going to do that. And that would be an acceptable answer.
Because what we're actually talking about there is being able to tolerate some degree of discord. Like, if things don't go the way that I'm asking for, can I still show you that I want to be here?
Yeah, there's this little mini grief that has to happen in that moment where smoothness that some part of my system is longing for, I'm not going to get it in this moment. And that's okay. And I can tolerate the little bit of sadness or the little bit of disappointment or the little bit of hurt that comes up as I see that we are different.
The pain of the disappointment, Jules, that's what I was going to say. And you said the disappointment. There's pain in that disappointment, even if it's, you won't put the forks in the way I want you to. But that's a request, and he's allowed to, or she, whoever the partner is allowed to say no to that.
They're even allowed to say, sounds like a great idea. I'm probably never going to remember that. Please don't be offended when I do not honor your request.
You know, you mentioned something else that I think I just want to tack back to. Our partners are not us. We're different. And I think there's a grief there too. Like, you know, I often will talk about this in regards to kind of how siblings are. Like, the great sibling rivalry fight is often one of, why aren't you me? Why do you think differently than I think? I can't understand you. And I think partners often get trapped in that kind of space too.
How could you possibly see it differently than I do?
And then I think...
Were you asking me? I'm sorry.
Could have been. Same thing.
Oh. And when we're fighting to be more the same, I think we miss the spice that is the difference. Like, I did not marry me. Thank God. I can get sick of me very quickly. My brain is insane. So thank God I did not marry me. And if I'm fighting to make us more the same, then I'm going to lose some of that attraction that lives inside that difference.
Yes.
And I don't want to lose the attraction. And yeah, I was just thinking about this question and how we of course can fight over how much should we cook toast, or which way the toilet paper should go, or which our fights are all about little stuff like that. And it's also okay just to wonder why your partner, is different than you. And so if it's more a question that's coming from there, then that's a moment for curiosity, and ask them so they can tell you all about how their mom taught them to load the dishwasher when they were 5, because that's probably a fun story too.
And I think so many of these differences are going to come down to that. Well, this is just what I was taught. It's how I learned to do it.
Yep.
And can we meet the differences with curiosity instead of defensiveness? Find out more.
Yeah.
Yeah. But to do that, it's really important that I'm open to whatever comes. Right. Because if I'm sort of putting on curiosity, mock curiosity. Right. Because I know it's what I'm supposed to do.
Right. It's not going to feel good on the receiving side.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if it's super important to you that the dishwasher gets loaded the right way, just make it your job to load the dishwasher. That's always an option too. You don't even,
Yes. And I think there's one danger in there. And that's that if it's always your job to load the dishwasher, does that mean that your partner then feels judged?
Well, I think that's a good question. But then I would also say, we could allow space for this just to be really important for me and me not want to put that on you.
And that has then to do with how I'm putting that out there. If I just say, well, okay, well, the dishwasher is now my job because I don't like how you do it, versus, I'm really picky about the dishwasher. So can this just be my thing? Can I live
totally that second way? So much better relational connection.
Yeah.
And you know why? It's because it comes from vulnerability.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's just, this is weirdly important to me. And I know that's a quirk, but.
And I know
just let me, because it's a quirk.
It might be too hard to explain it. So I'm not, just know that I know this about me. And that I think is a big piece. I know this about me. I'm not demanding or requesting from a place that I don't know something about me. I need to know where this is coming from.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
That's all for this week, guys.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That wraps up this week's episode. Join us again next week for another Why Does My Partner?
We hope that you continue to listen wherever you get your audio and that you'll follow the show.
To go deeper, join us at our boot camp. You'll find the next date at whydoesmypartner.com.